You just got to have a long day at work, or maybe in classes, or grinding away at the library for hours, and you're sitting in traffic, and you're kind of aggravated at all these people and all their cars. It's preventing you from getting home, having a nice meal, and getting some sleep. Well, suddenly a motorcycle rides right past you on the broken white lines between your lane and the lane to your left. Now, most of you would probably be a little bit irritated at this, but what if I told you that this motorcyclist was actually kind of helping you, doing you a pretty big favor? Lane splitting is defined as riding a bicycle or motorcycle between lanes of vehicles going in the same direction. Now, many people think this is terrifying and dangerous simply because of the idea of it. Well, riding a small motorized vehicle between two larger motorized vehicles is enough for people to assume, even at low speeds, is enough for people to assume that, well, it's probably just inherently dangerous and unsafe for everyone. When in reality, according to the University of California at Berkeley, who did a study on lane splitting, 63% of drivers said that they strongly disapprove or somewhat disapprove of lane splitting. And while many people have their own reasons for disapproving of lane splitting, I think that most people are just kind of misinformed and simply assume that it's crazy and dangerous. When in reality, by not letting bikes lane split illegally, you're actually costing a lot of people time and money. Lane splitting should be legal because when done safely, it benefits the rider and drivers around them, including in numerous ways, including better safety for riders, less environmental impact, and save time for everyone. So the first big argument against lane splitting is safety. 77% of drivers that were surveyed in the Berkeley study who said that they disapproved of the lane splitting, 77% said that they disapproved simply because they thought it was unsafe. Now, the study also surveyed drivers who had witnessed lane splitting motorcycles and asked them if they had ever been in a collision with a motorcycle who was lane splitting. Only 5.3% said that they had been in an accident with one. 95% said they had not. Now, the drivers who had been in a collision with a motorcycle that was lane splitting said that, were asked what damages were sustained or resulted because of the collision. 59% that said that only a car mirror was knocked off or damaged. 26% said that their car had been scraped or that the motorcycle had actually hit them. And those statistics are only from freeways. If we look at lane splitting on multiple lane roads that are not freeways, the number of collisions or percentage drops to 1.6%. So now that we've established that it's safe for drivers when motorcycles are lane splitting, I'll talk about the benefits for riders and their safety. Every rider fears being rear-ended. It is a sudden and violent experience, and 1 second you're sitting at a stoplight or stop sign, the next you're flying through the air on your back, facing the sky, not knowing what's happening. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 40% of accidents are between cars and motorcycles, are cars rear-ending the motorcycle. And because of the way that riders position themselves in their bikes while lane splitting, it gives them a lot less likely chance to take a rear-ending incident directly to the back of their bike, and it gives the car a lot more room, if they realize at the last second what's about to happen, to swerve and get out of the way and hopefully not injure somebody else. According to Gizmag, who did an article on lane splitting and also referenced the Berkeley study quite a bit, injuries sustained while the rider was lane splitting were actually a lot less severe than normal motorcycle injuries. Head injuries decreased by 45%, neck injuries decreased by 21%, and torso injuries decreased by 32%, my personal favorite. So, lane splitting bikes also benefit the environment in many ways, in some ways. Admittedly, the impact isn't that great, but some impact is much better than none. According to a Belgian study done in 2012, lane splitting bikes decrease the amount of time spent by drivers and riders on the road significantly enough because of the less time spent on the road giving off less emissions. The same study found that if only 10% of their drivers switched to motorcycles and lane splitted because it's legal there, then travel times for the remaining cars would decrease by 8%. So what can you do? Well, you can go to this link, URL, and sign to @change.org and sign a petition that will go to Governor Rick Scott and help change the law to allow bikers to lane split. As well as you can go down to the Bauman page and read comments from riders all across the state as to why they think lane splitting should be legal, and from each unique perspective. So the next time that you're driving and a rider rides past you, getting wherever he's going much faster than you, I hope that you resist not only the urge to open your car door on him, as some people do, but also I hope that you remember not to resent them too much because they're actually doing you a big favor.